Welcome, Fantasy Balls team managers. Lots to do. Week 10 recap. We're about to get into it. Lots going on. Lots of things happened. Hopefully I remember everything. It's very dark in here. Let me turn my brightness up. Looks a little. I look. Let me make sure I look pale because I am. Like we all know. All right, cool. That hurts my eyes. Anyway, lots to go over. I don't have a lot of time. For those of you playing along at home, you know that I am coming home tomorrow night. My flight takes off Denver International Airport, about an hour in that direction, 11:58 tomorrow night. So I'm heading home to New York. I have a conference tomorrow. Today was day 1. Tomorrow's day 2. I have to pack everything, get River ready to go to the babysitter, all that shit, clean up my apartment, do everything tonight so that I can leave tomorrow nice and quick after the conference. So, don't have a ton of time. I know Broshard's going to call me out and be like, he said he doesn't have a lot of time. Explains why he doesn't have a lot of time. Fuck off. So, week 10, interesting week. Some good stuff happened. Big things happen. I mean, I don't know if they're big things, but I think it's impressive. All right, we're gonna get into it. Brochard versus Johnny K-Sex. Boogeyman versus Diversity Inclusion. This game tagged along. I believe there was a bet. This was the game that had the bet, right? John and Brochard. Pulling up in my thing. Scrolling back. Not saved. Cool. Pretty sure this is the game. They had a bet. Chug. John owes a chug for that bet, but that's it. Not for being the least scorer. He almost had to do double chug. We'll get into that. 97.12 for John. Low point on Johnny's career. Was doing pretty good. Was doing solid. Was 5-4. Having a good season. Making up for baseball. Tough week. Just in the fact that it's a low score, you know? Left George Kittle on his bench. Left Tyler Boyd on his bench. Left Tank Dell on his bench. All scored at least 18.9. Would have really helped out. Would have been a difference maker in the game. Would have changed the score, even if I don't know the math off the top of my head. I think if he changed just one of them, like if he put George Kittle in over Deontay Johnson, I think that would have been a game changer. I think that would have won the game for John. But definitely two of them would have won the game. Brochard comes out with the W. This was a close one, though, right? Up until Monday night game, this was only a couple points separated. Obviously, the Monday night game, it was going to get that stretch because John just had the defense of the Bills left. Brochard had Josh Allen. Obviously, that was going to stretch. But this was a close game. Things could have gone differently depending on how that game went. Jake, by the way, we all feel for you. Not really. Don't give a fuck. But know you were at the game. No, that's got to be tough. I've watched it happen on TV. Being there in person, though, that's a tough one. R.I.P. So that's the game of the week. Good game. Both teams are now tied at 5-5. Now, this is where one of the interesting games kind of pisses me off a little bit. Alec versus Chumba, the homies that grew up together. I don't know what that head twitch was. Buddies that grew up together, head to head, 164 to 183. Huge output, huge games for both teams. But what kind of pisses me off is Chumba had his 4 best players out. Tyreek Hill, A.J. Brown, Jalen Hurts, DeAndre Swift all sat this week. What the fuck? 18 from Baker, 16 from Antonio Gibson, 23 from Tyler Lockett, 24 from Noah Brown, 30 from TJ Hawkinson, 17 from David Montgomery, 13 from the Ravens defense, and 21 from his kicker. Put up 187 points with his 4 best players out. Kind of bullshit. I think that's his second game that he scored at least 180. And he's not even the only team to do that this week. But a hell of a week from Alec, too, putting up 164. There's 2 high-scoring games this week. I feel like my voice is very high-pitched right now. This white wife beater does not look very good on me. I don't care. I need to clean. That's my task today, so I'm not trying to look good. Why do I do... Big game from Alec. 164 points. Not easy to do. his bench had a good week too. 59 on the bench, 164 from the starters. Just a good week all around from Alec, which you love to see. At 4-6 now, but put up his best fucking effort, you know. Moving on, we got Team Wallach. Get out of the fucking stupid website. Team Wallach, other 180 point score, 181.06 versus the Honey Badgers. Where did this come from? Griff's now 3-7, you know? Griff had been struggling all season, barely scoring. I think he was the one that had 50 points. Like, don't know what's happening. What's even more wild, his bench is in the negative. What the hell? But CeeDee Lamb put up 40 points. Jamar Chase put up 23. Dak Prescott put up 37.8. Like, big games from those guys. Everybody else pretty average. Matt Prater 18 from a kicker. That's good. But, like, you know, huge games from those guys. Griff comes out of nowhere, puts one up, 181 up. Totally messes with Jake's season, who also, by the way, put up 145. Good week from Jake. Hard to complain about 145. 40 and a half points from Keenan Allen alone. But that knocks Jake down 6-4. Third in the Upstate Division now. That's huge. That's a huge game. Really affects the standings and will affect these standings going forward. Next, we move to my game. Sun Gods versus Upstate New York Sucks. I pull out the W. I'm not super proud. I mean, I am. My boys were on a skid. If we want a chance at the playoffs, basically need to win out. I have to win at least, I don't remember the math, but I'm assuming I have to win at least one of the next two. Brochard and John back-to-back. Got to beat at least one of them if I want a shot. I think it's a long shot. I doubt I'm making it. I doubt it, honestly. I'm 4-6. It's unlikely. But I beat Connor, 139 to 126. I mean, Connor's only got one win. My kicker was on a bye too, though, so, like, it evens out. I didn't even have my optimal lineup in. It's fine. You know, I'll take the W. If I want a chance at the playoffs, gotta win out. Unlikely. Connor, definitely done. I'm going to check the math in a second. But I'll take it. I'll take the W. Needed one. It was a long time. Now we move into final game. Return of the King versus Barclays Thunder Thighs. This was Eddie. Fraud Eddie. Again, back 8-2. 94 points on the game. Like, Rungy might be onto something. If we look at Eddie's, history, I think what we'll find is that he's a bit of a fraud. Look, he's the third fewest points scored. And he's the number one team. He has the least points scored against. Let's look at Eddie's schedule real quick. Let's peek at the sketch that Eddie's got. What's his fucking name? There we go. Barclay Thunder Thighs. Let's see. Week 1, he gets a W, 138 points. That's respectable. Week 2, won with 92 points. That's not. Week 3, wins with 158. Fine. 139. Fine. 159. Fine. Loses with 101. Tough. Wins with 106 versus Griff's 50-point performance. It was Griff. Wins with 137. Fine. Close game, though. Wins with 105 against me. Wins by less than 2 points. Loses this week, only put it on 94 points. Rungy might be onto something with him being a poser. A fraud. Loses, gets a second loss this week, but he's still the number one team. Nobody's clinched the playoffs yet. I'm looking at the scoreboard right now. Not the scoreboard, the standings. Nobody's clinched playoffs yet. Eddie and Chumba both have a 99% chance to win. Nobody's been eliminated either. Connor still is in the race. He's got 1% chance of making it, but he's got a chance. So everyone still is in the race. Remember, top 6, go. Top 6 total. First 2 teams matter. After that, it doesn't. So right now, top 6 is Eddie, Chumba both get a bye. After that, we got Justin, then Jake, Brochard, John, and then after that will be Alec, me, Griff, Connor. But that's our first 6, right? Chumba and Eddie got that bye right now. It's not secured or anything. But then we got Rungy, Jake, Justin, and John. That's a lot of J's. A lot of J's in the playoff race right now. The rest of us, Alec and I, are a little bit behind, but we still have a logistic chance. I mean, even Griff kind of has somewhat of a shot now, depending on how things go out. Now that he's won that game, he's only one game behind me and Alec, who are tied. So it's definitely some interesting stuff can happen in the next couple of weeks. Speaking of, you know what this week is, gents? It's rivalry week. Rivalry week. It's the one. We are here. We made it. Week 11. Time for the rivals. I'm going to be honest. I made them a long time ago. I don't fully remember all the reasoning. I remember some of it, but not all of it. But this is rivalry week. All right, we got John versus myself. Sun God's going against Boogeyman. This is League Office versus John. He gets his chance. This is John's chance. Stand up for himself. Show it. Right? See if we do really have something against him. Oh my God. Oh no, Chumba did chug. Right? Chumba chugged. Yeah, that was the whole double chug. Yeah. All right. I was like, oh my God, did I forget to take minus 15 from a team? Chumba chugged. We're good. John is the chugs Brochard, but that's not league related. That's personal bets. Anyway, so John versus me, League Office versus the person who thinks the League Office is out to get him. It's a ludicrous statement. League Office is so unbiased, incredibly biased. There is no evidence towards biases at all. I'm making that the game of the week. You know, I'm sure that there's been some rumors, some murmurs in the back of the heads, like, man, Will hasn't given himself game of the week. He's trying to stay out of the limelight. Players can't handle it. I'm not avoiding it. My team's just been bad. All right? No further research needed. My 2 best players have been out for a long time now. My team has not been competitive. But this has to be the game of the week. I think everybody's interested to see how John does against the League Office. I think that's game of the week. So I'm not avoiding putting myself in the limelight. Just haven't needed to be, is all. Then we got Alec versus Connor. Honestly, these were the 2 oddballs. Every other game had a reason, except for this one. I was kind of left with 2. I remember when I was deciding these games, I asked Alec and I asked Connor. I said, Alec, what do you think about Connor? I said, Connor, what do you think about Alec? And they both said, like I'm not attracted to him, if that's what you're asking. Like, we're not gay. And I was like, no. Just, like, thoughts on him as a person. And got that cleared up. So, they're the 2 oddballs out. There wasn't really a reason. But that's it. They think they're gay. There we go. Brochard versus Chumba. This one happens a little bit in the group chat. More, I'd say, out of the group chat, in a different group chat between the 3 of us that got made one day because they both texted me the exact same thing at the same time. I sent them a message separately, and they both responded to it exactly the same, so I had to send it in a group chat with the 3 of us. These 2 got some beef, back and forth, just some bickering, some arguing. You know, they want to be the number 1 in my life. I think that's essentially what it is. Chumba thinks he's the top. Brochard thinks he's the top, and they can't handle taking each other. You know, they think not taking each other, but like being replaced by the other, right? So I think that's what it is. John's down here like, what about me? But like, you know, these 2 think they're like, so that's where what the fuck am I doing? That's where that comes from. Return of the King, Rungy versus Wallach. I want to say this had something to do with baseball, but Rungy wasn't in baseball, right? Rungy didn't do baseball. Again, there were reasons. I remember they're in a video somewhere. I just couldn't remember which video it was. So I couldn't go back and look. But there's a reason. But these last two games, I can't remember for the life of me. But it's Runge versus Wallach. There's a reason. And then Eddie versus Jake. I think Eddie and Jake had to do with last year's football season. Oh, that's what it is. Runge and Wallach. Runge was 3-0 against Griff last year. I think that's what it is. Hang on. We're going to pull it up real quick. This is going to be a long... Oh, I'm at 15 minutes already. Jesus Christ. Let's see. Head-to-head record. Last year, Griff versus Justin. Yeah, Griff went 0-3 against Runge. Runge beat Griff all 3 times last season. Let's see if that had to do with Eddie and Jake. Eddie beat Jake twice. Jake is 0-2, so I'm gonna go saying that's it. That these guys went undefeated against each other, or did not get a win against the other. So that's what those two are about. The other 3 had outside of record reasonings, but that's what it is. That's a recap. Game of the week: League Office versus John. Thinks he's being discriminated against. He's not. If anybody would be discriminated against, it would be Brochard. That's it. I'm done.